Hello friends and welcome to today's session. Today we are going to see the second part of nomenclature. In the previous lecture on nomenclature, we saw the monofunctional group examples. So now today we are going to see examples which are more complex and examples which contain multiple functional groups. So let us go to the examples. So, I'm Dr. Urmila Joshi. Given here is my mail ID, and please feel free to communicate to me on mail or on YouTube message if you are not clear about some examples or if you do not agree with some examples. Okay. So, this is the priority chart that we saw in the previous lecture. Important things to be noted over here are carboxylic acids have highest priority. They are followed by all other acid derivatives. Okay. And these include anhydrides, esters, halides, amides in that order. So the functional group which is up in the priority chart gets the priority. Important thing to be noted over here is aldehydes get priority over ketone. Okay. And alcohols get priority over amines. Now, all these are included as infix. Infix meaning they are included in the name of the parent chain. For example, if this is ethine, then it YNE. Then there are some groups which are never included as suffixes. They are always prefixes. All this you have learnt in 12th standard. So now let us go to the examples. Now in the first example, just see, there are two hydroxy groups. Okay. When there are two hydroxy groups, let us see how to name this. The numbering first, the numbering should be such that both the hydroxy groups get lowest possible number. If you start from the right hand end, then this CH2, this carbon gets number 1. So hydroxy bearing, one of the hydroxy bearing carbon gets number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And at 4 position, there is another hydroxy. If you go reverse way, then one of the hydroxy gets number 2 and second one gets 5. That is not possible, lowest possible number. So now the name. Please make sure that if there are two functional groups, two main functional groups which are similar, include them in the suffix only. Don't put as 1 pentanol, 4 hydroxy, 2 methyl, 1 pentanol. That is not the way of naming 2 methyl. Okay. 1,4-pentane diol. Now, when you are writing 1,4-pentane diol, make sure that you complete the pentane name with the E. If it is pentanol, we do not write the E, but here we write E. Same is the case over here. Okay. First, let us try to understand a simpler example. This is, let me number this. This is 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. So 4 carbon meaning butane. There are two carboxylic acid groups and therefore dioic acid. So 1,4-butane dioic acid. Okay. When there are two functional groups and both are same, please do not include only one in the parent chain and put second as a substituent. That is not allowed. Look at this. Again, this is a dioic acid. Now you can start numbering from this end. But if you number from this end, Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then both the carboxylic acid group numbers are still the same, 1 and 4. But this substituent doesn't get the lowest possible number. It gets number 3 if you start numbering from this end, 1, 2, and 3. So that is not a right thing to do. What we have written over here, 1, 2, 3, 4 is the perfect numbering. Now, after numbering 2-chloro, write the substituent first and then the parent chain. The parent chain is 1,4-butane dioic acid. It is not butandioic acid. E is complete. I hope you are following this. Now this. Okay, the next example. In the next example, there is one amino group and there is hydroxy group. As we saw earlier in the chart, alcohol is above amine. So alcohol gets priority. So the numbering should be such that alcohol gets the lowest possible number. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So it is 4-amino 2-pentanol or 4-amino pentane 2-ol. Okay. You can also write this as 4-amino pentane pentan 2-ol. Okay. The next one. Now here, look at the structure. Don't be in a hurry to start numbering. The structure contains one carboxylic acid group over here. There is an alcoholic group and there is a keto group. Now among these, carboxylic acid gets a priority and therefore the numbering will start with carboxylic acid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry. And 6. Now look, at 2 position there is chloro, at 4 position there is hydroxy, and at 5 position the keto group is there. There are 2 choices for you. Put the 5 and 6 group as a substituent. So you can name it as butanoic acid and substituent this entire group as a substituent. But a better way out is to put that carbonyl in the chain. Since you have put the carbonyl in the parent chain, you can name it as oxo. I think we saw this example in the previous lecture. Methoxyethane, we said, but it can be named as 2-oxabutane. Okay, this was oxygen in the chain which was numbered in the parent chain. Here it is a carbonyl carbon which is numbered and therefore it is 5-oxohexanoic acid. Now coming to the next one. One thing everybody has to remember, and that is in nomenclature, a ring and a chain, although they are in continuation, are never numbered in continuation. So you number the ring if the ring is larger, or number the chain if the chain is larger. Now, remembering this, look at this structure. This structure, this is the chain, parent functional group is the chain, and this is the ring. Ring is larger. So let us number the ring. Now, how to number the ring? Wherever there is parent functional group, put number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it is 4-methyl-2-oxo. The number 2 is given to the carbonyl carbon in the parent. So It is oxo. Okay, cyclohexane. And then since CHO is not numbered along with the parent, what we have done? We have used the suffix carbaldehyde. Look at this chart and look at the suffix, C suffix. Okay, al can be used when this carbon is numbered in the along with others, but this carbon is not numbered in our example, and so the suffix that is used is carbaldehyde. So it is 4-methyl 2-oxocyclohexane carbaldehyde. Okay. Now look at this. How many functional groups? First, there is COOH, there is CONH2, and there is OH. Among these three, COOH always gets a priority. So start numbering from COOH, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it is, this is a substituent, this is a substituent, and this entire thing is also a substituent. So prefixes have to be used. Now amide prefix is carbamoyl. So it is 3-carbamoyl, 6-hydroxy if we arrange in alphabetical ways. 3-carbamoyl, 6-hydroxy, and 5-methyl. Look at once again, 3-carbamoyl, 6-hydroxy, 5-methyl hexanoic acid. I hope you understand this. Now look at the next example. Here there is a chain, a big chain. Although it is not exactly 6 carbons, but this is a big chain. And carboxylic acid is a part of the chain. So what you have to do is consider this as the parent chain. Okay, starting with carboxylic acid. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, where are the substituents? Substituents are at 3 position, 4 position, and 5 position. Okay. Now arrange them alphabetically. It is 4-chloro, 5-cyclohexyl, 3,3-dimethyl. You don't have to take into consideration di. It is the alpha. When arranging alphabetically, it is methyl. So it is 4-chloro, 5-cyclohexyl, 3,3-dimethyl pentanoic acid. I hope I'm making myself clear. Another example of a complex substituent. Here again, although this is 4-carbon, this contains the functional group. So take this as the parent chain. When you are taking this as a parent chain, there are 2 groups. Carbonyl, that is ketone, and hydroxy. Obviously, carbonyl gets priority. So it is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now, just see, this is a slightly complex substituent. There is at 2 position, there is a substituent, and at 1 position also there is something. So it is 2-hydroxy, that is quite clear. Okay. After 2-hydroxy, we come to 1. Okay. The substituent is 2-methyl cyclohexyl. Now, and 1-butanol. Now, just try to understand how this substituent has come. 2-methyl cyclohexyl. This is the entire substituent. Okay. This substituent is attached to keto or the carbonyl group. Okay, the carbonyl group is in the parent chain. So, the carbon of the substituent that is nearest to the parent chain gets number 1. So, obviously, this gets number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, it is 2-methyl cyclohexane, but this is a substituent. So, 2-methyl cyclohexyl. How methane becomes methyl? ethane becomes ethyl. Similarly, cyclohexane becomes cyclohexyl. So it is 2-hydroxy. Then at one position, there is a complex substituent. This is 2-methyl cyclohexane. In 12th standard, you may have learned that numbering of 2-. Okay. But if you see all the drug nomenclature, this numbering of 2- is no longer used. Therefore, I have not used the numbering of 2-. Look, it is 1-butanone, okay, 2-hydroxy, and 1 substituted. Now, what is that substituent? 2-methyl cyclohexane. When you look at this substituent, please remember this is the end of the bracket term. This is an earlier term. Okay, this is the end of the bracket term. The end of the bracket term always indicates point of attachment to the parent chain. So, this 2-methyl cyclohexyl is attached via cyclohexyl to 1-butanone. 1-butanone is the parent chain. When you solve more examples of this, you will be mastering this trick. Now look at the next example. There is amine, there is ketone. Which one gets priority? Ketone gets priority, right? So, start numbering with a ketone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it is a 4-substituted ketone. Okay. If it is a 4-substituted ketone, look at the substituent. The substituent, you can also name it as 4N-methylamino 2-hexanone. Okay. But it is also right to name it as the substituent as methylamino. The end of the bracket term is amino. And so amino indicates its point of attachment to the parent chain. Okay. We will see a reverse example. Exactly same, only thing the substituent at 4 position is different. So how to name this? 1, 2, 3. Again, it is at 4 position. Now, what is the substituent? While naming the substituent, always go reverse way. Don't start naming with the term that is, or the point group that is attached to the parent chain. This is away from the parent chain. So it is amino-methyl. Okay. 4-amino-methyl, and this is methylamino. So we clearly differentiate between these two compounds. Okay. Some more examples here. Okay. There is a keto group and there is hydroxy, and this will be a substituent. Now let us see how to name this as a substituent or name this as a substituent. Let us start numbering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After 5, you can number in 2 ways. First way is to include this 6 and 7. If you do that, what happens? This becomes a substituent. Now, how to name this substituent? It is starting with hydroxy ethyl. Now, you will have to specify at which position hydroxy is there. So, it is 2-hydroxy ethyl. Okay, because when you start numbering this substituent, this gets number 1 because this is nearest to the parent chain. This gets 2. So it is 2-hydroxy and then ethyl. Hept 6 yin 2 on. Okay, this is 6 yin 2 on. The next one. This is cycloheptane. Cycloheptanon. Okay. Sorry, this has to be 1. We are naming it as cycloheptanon, so the numbering should start like this. So 2. 2 was correct. Sorry, I am very sorry. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So it is cycloheptanon. But at 2 position, there is a substituent. Now, what is that substituent? It is propyne. Okay, this entire substituent is propyne. But since this is propyne, you will have to specify whether sp hybridized carbon is attached to the cycloheptane or the sp3 hybridized carbon is attached. Now, since here sp hybridized carbon is attached, how will you name this? 1, 2, and number this. So it is 1-propynyl cycloheptanone. Okay. Last example of this slide, there is this substituent, there is this substituent, and this becomes parent. The aldehyde becomes parent. Now, since aldehyde is parent, you have to start numbering from aldehyde, 3, 4, and 5. So it is pentanol. Everybody gets this? Now the substituent. At 3 position, there is methoxy. And at 4 position, there is methyl thio. Look at this, methyl thio. You can put a bracket over here. Okay. 4 methyl thio pentanol. Now, end of the bracket term is thio. So, thio indicates its attachment to the parent chain. Okay. Now, we end the lecture here and we will continue with more examples in the next lecture. Okay. So, if you have appreciated this lecture, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. My mail ID is given on the first slide. You may use it for communicating with me on the mail, or you can communicate with me on the YouTube also. Thank you so much for a patient listening.